Hello and welcome to Chocolate and Cheese. My name is Dr. Dom and this is Nurse Lou.
How can I help you?
Okay, that's a good question actually. Lou, there is an international crisis. People are suffering from food boredom.
Oh.
They're getting really, really bored of their food and we are here to help.
Okay.
We have some more crazy food combinations that you probably haven't heard about, and you might think that is just so odd. I'm not going to believe that this is going to be tasty. Anyway, we had a previous podcast on this, so we already have given you some ideas about food combinations, but we have some more. We actually have 10 more food combinations.
Actually 10.
This time we've got 10, absolutely. They sound as if they don't really work together, but I have to say, according to my own research, and as well as, from other people I've heard, these combinations are matches made in heaven. Okay, let's start straight away. Potato chips covered in chocolate.
Yes.
This to me sounded such a crazy idea, and I'm not talking about the kind of chips that are actually just pure chocolate. I mean, we're really talking about potato chips that are covered in chocolate. Now, the first time that I came across this was when Lou brought something from Japan. So this seems to be quite popular over there in Japan. Is that right?
That is Hokkaido,
Okay.
which is very up north island.
Okay.
That's a famous souvenirs from Hokkaido Island.
And it is just absolutely delicious. I mean, you can imagine it's a potato chip which is like half covered in dark chocolate, I think. It's a very thin layer of that chocolate. But the combination of this, salty, crispy potato chip together with this tangy, dark chocolate, it's an absolute match made in heaven. It's really, really delicious. If you
And
haven't...
I really don't understand how they can make that crispy. Although chocolate only half of the chips.
That's right. I mean, you can try making this yourself, actually. It's not that complicated. We've tried this. Yeah, we've tried this ourselves. It didn't come out that well, but I guess you have to have a bit more practice. So you basically, melt down some chocolate and then dip the potato chips in there. Make sure that these potato chips are obviously not too thin, otherwise it's going to break. So they should be relatively tough. Now, the next one might surprise you. It's actually not such a big issue if you live in Ireland, where they really like this particular snack. It is a deep fried chocolate bar. For example, a deep fried Mars bar or a deep fried Snickers bar. Which you can get at your local chippy, so that's just basically like a local fish and chip shop, and you can ask them to deep fry your chocolate bars. I mean, obviously they already have them, they put some batter on them and then put them in the deep fryer, and it is absolutely delicious. Now Lou is looking at me.
It's a calorie bomb.
Yeah, Lou is looking at me rather in a disgusted way. It is obviously very, very heavy. It's a calorie bomb, but it is super, super delicious. I can only recommend that. The next one we have, number 3, again comes from Japan. Never heard of this actually. I've never tried it. I think, Lou, we should try this quite soon. So apparently you have a bowl of rice and then you sprinkle some potato chips on that. I mean, is that you do that in Japan?
I've never tried it.
Oh, okay.
But it's like put some sprinkle of salt on the rice, isn't it?
Okay, as well. Oh, okay, so
it's like onigiri rice bowl.
Okay. So it's almost like you're flavoring your rice with a little bit of these potato chips because they're so salty.
Yeah.
Okay. I suppose that could work in terms of the, the saltiness, and I guess with a bit of crispiness as well. So it's gonna be, quite nice in terms of the texture of the food. So if you haven't tried that yet, put some potato chips on your rice. I like
Maybe
that.
the fried onion also.
Oh my god, I think that's that's a good idea. I quite fancy that. Yeah, fried onions already on there. You can buy them obviously in tubs, these deep fried onions. Good idea. The next one, this is number 4. I think. This is popcorn. Now, if you have loads of popcorn left, what you're going to do is you can actually have them in the morning with a bit of milk. So your popcorn turn into cereal. I mean, it doesn't actually surprise me that much. It's just corn, and then you put that like many corn flakes, it consists of that thing. You put it in the milk. I've never thought about that. I think that's obviously, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Maybe not for me because I don't like popcorn that much anyway, but if you are a huge fan of popcorns, why don't you just put them in your milk for breakfast? And if you have some leftover, by the time you come to the lunch hour or the evening hour, why don't you mix it with a bit of mayo and ketchup? So you mix mayo and ketchup, which I quite like, and then you have that with your popcorn. That one I don't actually think is such a good idea, but apparently some people say this is a really nice, crazy snack. I'm not too sure about that. Number 5. This is very, very popular in Italy. It's basically ice cream with olive oil. Now the ice cream that they use in Italy, it's a speciality. The ice cream is already made with the olive oil. Okay. Now when you probably can't buy this unless you're in Italy, so you basically just it should be vanilla ice cream. Okay, that's apparently the best. So just buy a tub of very nice vanilla ice cream and some olive oil. Should be not the cheap stuff. Go for something a little bit more expensive, and then just drizzle a little bit on top. And apparently this should taste amazing again. Again, I couldn't imagine it. Didn't think about that. But another one to try out.
Yeah. I also put chili pepper on the ice cream.
That's interesting. Yeah, that reminds me of something we're gonna come to in a second. Actually, it's an interesting combination. No, don't worry. The next one. This is probably for me at least number 6 here. The craziest combination. I would have never dreamt in a million years to put these things together. It's basically olives with chocolate. This is really, really interesting. Well, apparently what you should try is if you have a couple of olives, now make sure that they're not actually seasoned. Okay, just some plain olives. Make sure that you remove the stones, otherwise you're gonna bite your teeth out. And you can put this in any kind of like chocolate dish, for example, into chocolate truffles or into chocolate cakes. So you slice up a couple of olives and put them into your chocolate cake or into your chocolate truffle. I mean, I'm really, really curious about this, and Lou, I think we should actually make this in a couple of days, and we're going to report back, and we're going to say how that was actually
because
like.
It's same, savory and sweet.
It is savory and sweet.
They're always working together.
I can kind of imagine that's is probably going to be very good. The next one, kind of similar. Again, I would have never thought, but I'm very curious about this. Number 7 is dark chocolate with Parmesan.
Again,
I would have never thought about this. Oh my god, it's such a weird combination. But well, if you think about it, you have the nutty, tangy Parmesan with this very rich dark chocolate. And the way that you can actually combine this is by putting it on a sandwich. So you can make a grilled cheese and chocolate sandwich. Again, I definitely need to try this one. Our listeners, please have a go at one of those and let us know. You can always get in touch with us under chococheeseshow@gmail.com or just follow us on Twitter, Choco Cheese Show. Please let us know if you have tried any of these yourself, but I'm quite keen on this dark chocolate with Parmesan.
With salutana, maybe.
I think that's going to go too far actually for me now. Number 7, I have actually tried this myself, and I know Lou you have. Very interesting. Fruits with chili powder. Very, very nice. One of the reasons why this is probably so nice is because the chili powder itself, because of its ingredients, the heat in itself, enhances your smell and taste already. So you're super sensitive to any kind of other tastes. And obviously, if you now combine this with the sweet acidity of fruits, for example, mango or pineapples, should be really, really lovely. And it's true, that's a very nice combination. Again, many people wouldn't think of that, but again, it's sweet and hot.
Yeah.
Very nice combination. Number 9. Another really wacky food combination. I would have, again, never dreamt about putting this together. This is basically smoked eel with watermelon. Okay, doesn't have to be eel. I mean, eel is a bit posher. It could also be mackerel. So any kind of like oily smoked fish with the watermelon. The reason again why this works is because you have the oily taste of this fish, kind of like very smoky stuff, and then with the juiciness of these of the watermelons. You know, I'm salivating as we talk. Actually, maybe I think that could be something I want to try out. Right. Our last and final, which is the same word, okay, our final recommendation for a food combination, for a wacky food combination. This is really super crazy. It's caviar. Now, I wouldn't waste money on the real stuff. Okay, you can buy any kind of fake version of this, which
even veggie caviar.
You could even use veggie caviar, but mixing caviar with white chocolate. This is really, really weird. I'm not quite sure whether I want to try this out. But now, having talked about all these food combinations, you know, there is a proper science, you know, behind all, you know, where people really think about very carefully about what kind of foods work together. And scientists have said that this combination should work because of the matching of particular organic ingredients within these two foods, caviar and white chocolate, that it should really make this perfect match. But like I said, I am not too convinced. I'm not quite sure whether I want to try fish with chocolate so much. But you know, you can try, Lou. You can tell me what it's like, and likewise to our listeners.
White chocolate.
This has to be white chocolate for the caviar.
Chocolate.
Yeah, because I think the other one is probably too overpowering than the dark chocolate. But if our listeners feel now very adventurous, you know, and go and have a look at what's in their kitchen fridge or cupboard, please let us know if you have tried any of these combinations. And all we can say is bon appetit.